Welcome to Wednesday the 28th of May 2025 edition of the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald podcast, read and recorded for the benefit of visually and reading impaired people by volunteers for Bishopbriggs based charity Q and Review Print Speaking to the Blind. If you have any feedback about our service, you can call us on 07598 846 694 or email studio@qandreview.com. That's studio @cuandreview.com. Academy rebuild proposals on display. Consultation events will take place next month, giving details of the project to build a new school to replace the existing Lindsay Academy premises. Report by Kevin McRoberts. 3 consultation events are due to be held next month on the project to rebuild Lindsay Academy. As Eastern Bartonshire's only remaining legacy secondary school, it has been identified by council officers as a strategic priority for a renewal through the Capital Investment Plan. A major planning application will be required for the new school, and therefore there is a requirement to consult with the public. 3 consultation events have been lined up. Tuesday, June 10th, for pupil representatives, staff representatives, Lindsay Academy Parent Council, and representatives from catchment schools' parent councils. Wednesday, June 11th, for representatives of Lindsay Community Council, Lennoxtown Community Council, Kirkintilloch Community Council and Waterside Community Council. Thursday, June the 12th, 4 to 8 p.m. at Lindsay Academy for the general public. There will be presentation boards at these events which will provide background information on the progress of the project, design and site layout, and the rationale for the selection of the Whitegates Park site for the new school building. Initial proposals on off-site environmental mitigation, including high-level proposals for the existing Lindsay Academy site, will also be shown. Everyone attending will be invited to provide comments and suggestions on what they have seen. Feedback will be considered by the project team, and a further round of consultation sessions, following the same format, will be organised for September/October. And that report was written by Kevin McRoberts and read by Ian McKenna. This week in history. May 31st, 1930, Don Bradman became the first Australian to score 1,000 runs in England by the end of May. June the 1st, 1831, the magnetic North Pole was located by Sir James Clark Ross on his Arctic exploration expedition with Admiral Parry. On this day last year, the African National Congress Party lost its parliamentary majority in an historic election result that put South Africa on a new political path for the first time since the end of the apartheid system of white minority rule. June the 2nd, 1997, Timothy McVeigh was convicted on 15 counts of murder and conspiracy for his role in the 1995 Oklahoma bombing. On this day last year, singer Cindy Christmas was crowned the winner of Britain's Got Talent 2024. June 3rd, 1978, the Guinness Book of Records went into the Guinness Book of Records as the most stolen book from British libraries. June the 4th, 1977, damage estimated at £15,000 was caused when fans dug up the Wembley pitch after Scotland beat England 2-1. On this day last year, a 25-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of assault after a milkshake was thrown at Reform UK leader Nigel Farage following a campaign event in Clacton, Essex Police said. And that was This Week in History, Wednesday 28th of May.
City Centre works hit bus services. A report by Kevin McRoberts. Bus services in Eastern Bartonshire are being affected by major roadworks being carried out in Glasgow city centre. The works which began this week are being carried out by Glasgow City Council on North Hanover Street as part of the wider City Avenues project. They are expected to cause significant disruption to bus services using that route and accessing Buchanan bus station. A spokesman for First Bus said, "We're committed to providing an efficient and reliable service for customers. However, like any other road users, our buses are impacted by roadworks and circumstances out with our control. We support the end vision Glasgow City Council is aiming to achieve with the modernisation of the city through the Avenues project, but these works will cause significant disruption to bus services throughout the city centre. We want to support customers as far as possible and allow them to plan journeys." Further information can be found via our website, social channels, and through our customer services team. Among the services identified by First Bus being impacted by the roadworks are the X8 and X85, which serve Campsie Glen, Lennoxtown, Kirkintilloch and Lenzie. The X87, which goes to Waterside, Hairstains, Kirkintilloch and Lenzie, has also been flagged up, as have the 38, which serves Steps, Christon, Greenfield and Barlanark, and the 88, which visits Bishopbriggs and Kirkintilloch. First Bus says users of the 9, 9A, 19, 38, 57, 77, 87, 88, 240, 255, 263, 267, 398, 500, X3, X8, X11, X85 and X87 are advised to plan their journeys in advance and allow for additional travel time to prepare for buses that may be caught in traffic. Lane restrictions and temporary lights have been installed on North Hanover Street from this week and are expected to last for at least 18 months. The First Bus team says it will continue to update its website with details of impacted services to advise customers in advance. Any customers seeking further advice and the latest updates can call the First Bus Customer Services team on 0345 646 0707 or visit first-glasgow.com. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts and read by me, Nikki.
Call for more people to consider childminding by Kevin McRoberts. More childminders are needed in East Dunbartonshire to work in partnership with the Council to deliver funded early learning and childcare, to ensure choice and flexibility for families. The local authority is looking for caring, committed, patient, fun-loving and enthusiastic people who want to help shape young lives. If you've ever thought about childminding as a career but don't know where to start or have questions about what's involved in getting set up, the Council can help you on your journey. East Dunbartonshire Council is participating in the Scottish Government's Programme for Scotland's Childminding Future, PSCF, a 3-year national childminder retention and recruitment programme with the aim of recruiting new childminders to help deliver 1,140 hours of early learning and childcare to local families. The programme is being delivered by the Scottish Childminding Association, SCMA, and aims to grow the childminding workforce and bring about positive change for families, communities and childminding through the creation of much-needed childminding spaces to support parental employment and contribute to child poverty reduction. Councillor Linda Williamson, Convener of Education, said, "The delivery of 1,140 hours early learning and childcare in East Dunbartonshire depends on a mix of childcare options for parents. Many parents opt for the high-quality, home-from-home, flexible childcare provided by childminders, and we currently need more childminding spaces in East Dunbartonshire to meet the high demand. If childminding appeals to you and you think you've got what it takes to help babies and toddlers grow and develop in your care, then the time to act is now. By taking part in the PSCF, you will be able to access a package of support, including startup grants and fully funded training. You will also be assigned a dedicated SCMA workforce officer who will provide expert one-to-one support through the process of registration with the Care Inspectorate. Councillor Williamson continued, "Over the last year, many new childminding businesses were established across Scotland thanks to the support provided by SCMA, and now people in East Dunbartonshire can benefit. If childminding is a career you have been considering for a while, I would encourage you to find out more about the assistance being offered through this programme. This could be the perfect opportunity for you to take the plunge and start your own childminding business." Graham McAllister, SCMA Chief Executive, said, "Securing commitments from an increasing number of local authorities has enabled expansion of the PSCF and highlights growing confidence in our work, its potential to influence change and have a lasting positive impact for families, communities and the future of childminding. Crucially, the availability of additional childcare enables parents to find work and stay in work, contributing to reducing child poverty. To find out more about a career in childminding, visit the SCMA website at www.childminding.org. That article was written by Kevin McRoberts and it was read by Jahan.
MND Scotland's charity fun run. People East Dunbartonshire are being invited to sign up for a charity fun run in aid of MND Scotland. The charity will stage its first fun run in Kelvingrove Park, Glasgow, on Saturday, September the 6th, having previously held a similar run last year at Lochaore Meadows in Fife, where a second fun run will take place on Saturday, September the 20th. MND Scotland invites children, mums, dads, colleagues and friends of all ages and abilities to join in a day filled with fun, community spirit and camaraderie to help raise awareness and funds for people affected by motor neurone disease. To find out more, visit mndscotland.org.uk/events. Provost Awards deadline. There's not long left to make nominations for this year's East Dunbartonshire Provosts Community Champion Awards. The deadline for submitting nominations is 5 p.m. on Friday, June the 6th. Provost Gillian Rennick launched the Provost Community Champion Awards in 2023 and is once again looking to acknowledge and thank people for the work they do. The awards aim to recognise the inspiring work of local people who are nominated by friends, families, neighbours and colleagues. There are 6 categories open for nominations: Community Champion, Young Champion, Caring Champion, Sports Champion, Arts and Heritage Champion, Sustainability Champion. Provost Rennick said, "Over the past 2 years, both the Deputy Provost and I have loved reading all the nominations and meeting the winners. There's so much fabulous work being carried out across the area, and usually from people who are too humble to shout about it. That's where the Community Champion Awards come in. This is your chance to nominate someone who lives, works or attends a school in East Dunbartonshire who you believe is making a difference in our communities and bringing about positive change. Nominations will be judged by Provost Gillian Rennick and Deputy Provost Colette McDermott, and winners announced on June the 16th. To make a nomination, visit https://orlo.uk/YP32N.
Timber delivery helps to frame affordable homes. A report by Kevin McRoberts. Muir Timber Systems has secured a contract with Kirkintilloch-based construction specialists Sim Building Group to support the delivery of 22 new affordable homes at the town's Whitehill Court. The development will offer a mix of terraced homes and flats, helping to meet local housing needs. As part of the contract, Muir Timber Systems is supplying a full timber kit package, including external wall panels, loose I-joist floors, internal NLB partitions, and loose site-erect roof trusses. Deliveries to support the erection of the first block of flats began earlier this month. This project continues a successful working relationship between Muir Timber Systems and Sim Building Group, following the delivery of high-quality timber solutions on previous developments in Glen Mavis and Falkirk, as well as Gartcosh Road in Kirkintilloch. Michael Thewlis, Commercial Director of Sim Building Group, said, "We have engaged with Muir Timber Systems on previous developments over the last 5 years, and the good working relationship has been instrumental in Sim Building Group delivering well-designed, energy-efficient homes for developers across central Scotland. Muir's consistent quality and responsive service help keep our projects moving efficiently, and we are delighted to be working together once again at Whitehill Court to provide much-needed affordable homes in the heart of Kirkintilloch." The timber kits for this project are crafted using sustainable materials and are produced with energy drawn from the factory's solar array, underscoring Muir Timber Systems' commitment to environmental responsibility and sustainability. Gary Gray, General Manager of Muir Timber Systems, said, "We're proud to be continuing our strong working relationship with Sim Building Group on another important affordable housing development. At Muir Timber Systems, we focus on providing timber solutions that not only meet the highest standards of quality and efficiency, but also contribute to the creation of lasting, sustainable communities." Whitehill Court is a great example of this, and we're excited to play our part in bringing these new homes to life. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts. A Chance to Remember, a report by Kevin McRoberts. Bishopbriggs Crematorium is inviting people to visit ahead of Father's Day to spend time remembering and reflecting on beloved paternal relatives they have lost. On Saturday, June 14, there is an open invitation for people to visit the site from 11 a.m. to spend time in the gardens to reflect on and remember their loved ones in a peaceful setting. At 1 p.m, a Father's Day memorial service will take place, led by celebrant David Somerville. Families are invited to submit a photograph of their loved one by emailing bishopbriggs@westerly-group.co.uk by Monday, June 9, which will be incorporated into a slideshow and played during the service. No advanced booking for the service is required, and refreshments will be available throughout. Lisa Somerville, crematorium assistant, said, "Visitors are also welcome to put Father's Day cards into our Letters to Loved Ones memorial postbox. Cards will be provided by us. Since installing the memorial postbox, we've received heartfelt feedback from the bereaved who say that writing and sending messages to their loved ones brings them great comfort and helps them feel a continued sense of connection. Anyone is welcome to visit the crematorium in order to remember their loved ones during the Father's Day period, regardless of whether or not there is a memorial to their father or father figure in the grounds, or where their loved one's funeral took place. Neither does it matter if someone is recently bereaved or suffered a loss some time ago. It makes no difference where they live. If they are near to the crematorium around Father's Day, anyone and everyone is welcome to visit for a peaceful period of reflection and remembrance. Lisa added, much like Christmas Day and Mother's Day, Father's Day can be a particularly poignant time when feelings of loss are felt more deeply. We want everyone to know they are warmly welcome to pay tribute to their loved ones at our crematorium. For more information about Father's Day and the services available at Bishopbriggs Crematorium, visit www.bishopbriggscrematorium.co.uk. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Parcels Double in Last Decade by Julie Curry. New figures released by Trussell show that 239,503 emergency food parcels were provided to people facing hardship across Scotland between April 2024 and March this year. It is the equivalent of one parcel every 2 minutes and, sadly, more than double, that's 101%, the number of parcels provided a decade ago. The annual figures also show significant numbers of parents struggling to afford the essentials, with more than 140,000 parcels distributed to families with children, also more than double, plus 111%, compared with a decade ago. Many food banks in the Trussell community are now reporting severe levels of hardship, with some parents forced to ration their own food to feed their children. Some people are in such desperate situations they open food parcels and eat before leaving the food bank. Cara Hilton, Trussell Policy Manager in Scotland, said, "Thousands of children, families, disabled, working and older people in Scotland needed to access food banks for emergency food in the past year. A generation of Scots has now grown up in a country where sustained high levels of food bank need feels like the norm. This should be a massive wake-up call to both the Scottish and UK governments, and a stark reminder of their responsibilities to the people of this country. The recent programme for government was a missed opportunity to take the bold action and change we need to see in Scotland if we are to turn the tide on hunger and hardship. The First Minister has rightly put eradicating child poverty at the heart of his programme, but this ambition needs to be matched with action and at scale. The charity reported a 10% dip in the total number of emergency food parcels provided across Scotland compared with the previous year, but the need for emergency food is still persistently high. With MPs soon to vote on the UK government's proposals to cut essential support for sick and disabled people, Trussell warned these changes could force even more people to turn to food banks. Disabled people are already overrepresented at food banks, with 3 in 4 of people referred in the Trussell community saying they or a member of their household are disabled. The charity is urging the government to rethink the proposed cuts and to urgently update universal credit to ensure everyone has enough money to be able to afford the essentials. Cara added, "The Westminster government will fail to improve living standards unless they row back on their harmful policy choices on disability. They risk leaving a legacy of rising food bank need. Addressing hunger and hardship for both governments must be a priority." The charity said this means bringing forward the planned increase to the basic rate of universal credit from April 2029 to April 2026, halving the proposed cuts to welfare support, and ending the 2-child limit. How you can help. Food banks need everyone to play their part to move us towards ending the need for emergency food in Scotland. The public can help make sure food banks can continue to provide support and advice in the year ahead by donating food or funds to Trussell or their local food bank. Visit campaign.trussell.org.uk/parcels-by-postcode to find out how many emergency food parcels were provided to people facing hardship in your local area. Trussell is an anti-poverty charity and community of food banks, which work together to provide emergency food and practical support for people left without enough money to live on. That article was written by Julie Curry.
School leavers' positive futures. Once again, the report on school leaver destinations in East Dunbartonshire shows an optimistic future for the area's young people, with 98.6% of them going on to a positive outcome. This figure from Skills Development Scotland, SDS, reflects the journey of 1,393 school leavers from East Dunbartonshire's 8 secondaries and 1 ASN school in 2023 to 24. Not only is this the best result in Scotland, but it makes East Dunbartonshire the only council area to appear in the top 3 every year for a decade. Councillor Linda Williamson, convener of the Council's Education Committee, said, "This is an outstanding achievement for our young people. A positive destination can mean higher or further education, employment, training or volunteer work, and to achieve almost 99% is a fantastic outcome." The SDS figures break down as follows: 65.9% in higher education, 14.2% in further education, 16.2% in employment, 1.9% in training, 0.4% in voluntary work. Councillor Williamson continued, "Within those figures we also saw the highest number of young people from less affluent backgrounds go into higher education, which is a hugely encouraging step in helping to reduce the poverty-related attainment gap. These figures have only been achieved thanks to our schools providing the highest standard of education through a curriculum that meets the needs of all young people. Students should be congratulated for their hard work, and of course the support of their families should not be underestimated." NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde seeks board members. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde is looking for 2 new board members to help improve the health and well-being of people living in the area. Board members play a key role in the efficient, effective and accountable governance of the organisation. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde said a particularly exciting time to join the board as it launches Transforming Together, its system-wide improvement programme to transform unscheduled and planned care. Applications are invited from anyone with an interest in public service and those who are committed to the NHS in Scotland. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde is Scotland's biggest health board and currently looks after a core population of more than 1.3 million patients, almost a quarter of the population of the country. It provides a range of primary community-based acute and psychiatric hospital services, as well as highly specialised national and regional services for people throughout the country. Dr Leslie Thompson, KC, Chair of the NHS GGC Board, said, "This is an exciting opportunity to provide strategic leadership and oversight to Scotland's largest health board. NHS GGC is at the early stage of a whole system reform and renewal to ensure it continues to deliver the best possible care to patients now and in the future. We would welcome application from those with an interest in health, public service and transformation. We want to hear from people from a range of diverse backgrounds and different walks of life to ensure we reflect the population we serve. For more information, to apply, go to https://shorturl.at/J87QL.
Family announcements. Deaths: Maxwell, Roberta, Margaret. Peacefully on Thursday, May 15th, 2025, at Glasgow Royal Infirmary. Roberta, beloved wife of William, loving aunt of Karen, and dear friend to many. Funeral service at St Mary's Parish Church, Cowgate, on Friday, June 6th at 10 a.m. Thereafter to Bishopbriggs Crematorium, to which all friends are respectfully invited.
Livestock worrying still remains stubbornly high, a report by Julie Curry. New data indicating a reduction in livestock worrying in Scotland has been welcomed by Scottish Land and Estates. However, the organisation has urged vigilance as recorded incidents remain stubbornly high. According to statistics from Police Scotland, 216 incidents were recorded for the year ending March 30, 2025, compared to 350 incidents of dog attacks or worrying of livestock in the preceding year, a fall of 38%. The Dogs Protection of Livestock Amendment Scotland Act 2021 introduced much tougher penalties for any individual convicted of such offences, including a fine of up to £40,000 and a prison sentence of up to 12 months. The dog is also highly likely to be destroyed. SLE, in partnership with SPARC, has campaigned for many years to help minimise the risk of dog attacks and to raise awareness of the financial impact and the heartbreak caused to farmers. Nick MacLeod, SLE Acting Policy Advisor, said, "We welcome the significant drop in livestock worrying incidents over the past year, which suggests that stronger legislation and public awareness efforts could be having an impact. However, with over 200 incidents still recorded, it's clear this remains a serious issue for farmers and land managers across Scotland. Dog owners should not take a dog, even if on a lead, into fields where there are lambs, calves or other young animals, as there is a real risk of causing stress, injury and even death to pregnant animals or young. Farmers are proud of their livestock, and where animals have been killed, it is devastating to have to start from scratch and try to build a flock back up. The financial impact is also severe, particularly at a time when many farms are struggling to make ends meet. We commend the work of Police Scotland and the Rural Crime Team in focusing on the protection of livestock and dedicating resources to intelligence gathering, practical crime prevention and enforcement. Inspector Jordan Lowe of Police Scotland said, "Tackling dog attacks and livestock worrying remains a key priority for members of the Scottish Partnership Against Rural Crime, SPARC, due to the significant harm it causes not only to animals but also to the livelihoods of farmers." He added, "It is essential owners take responsibility by keeping dogs on a lead and under control around livestock. Ignoring this duty could lead to prosecution with penalties of up to £40,000 or 12 months in prison. Through SPARC, Police Scotland is committed to working alongside partners over the coming years to raise awareness of the laws in place to protect livestock. Those who act irresponsibly will face the consequences." It is estimated that farm animals worth an estimated £102,000 were severely injured or killed in dog attacks in Scotland in 2024, down from £123,000 in 2023, but 69% above the figure for 2022, according to figures from NFU Mutual. Farmers and land managers are encouraged by SLE to display information signs aimed at the public on gates and fences at certain times of year. Signage is available for free download from the SLE website or to be ordered for a nominal fee. That report was written by Julie Curry.
Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald, Wednesday the 28th of May. The letters page, Let's Talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyscotland@janscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNSCOTLAND.co.uk. And write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Move a mile to help our children. Sir, Childhood Day, June the 6th, is the NSPCC's National Day to fundraise and help keep children safe. Every year, communities in Scotland and across the UK come together to celebrate childhood through fundraising, volunteering and a range of activities for all to enjoy. Everyone can play their part in keeping children safe, and one way is to get involved this Childhood Day. People can volunteer for NSPCC collections, organise their own event, and take part in the Childhood Day Mile. Children can move their mile by parading in the playground, dancing in the dinner hall, or lunging in between lessons. Or get the whole family involved and take on a mile's walk together, grab a friend and do it three-legged, or get your workplace to go to the distance in a relay race. How you move a mile is completely up to you. The Childhood Day Mile is for everyone. Over 80% of the NSPCC's income comes from donations, and it is essential that our services, like Childline, are here for those children that need help when they don't know where else to turn. Every £29 raised from Childhood Day could fund a Childline supervisor for 1 hour to support our volunteer counsellors. For more information about the NSPCC's Childhood Day, visit www.nspcc.org.uk/childhood-day. Yours, etc., Arlene Main, NSPCC Scotland Community Fundraising Manager. Promises kept, sir. So yet again we have seen Sir Keir Starmer unpick more of the Tory chaos left behind by the bitter infighting in the last government. Top of the list this week being Boris Johnson's so-called oven-ready Brexit deal and mass migration experimentation mess he left behind. Yet the past few days have yet again proved that Labour are not all about just righting Tory wrongs. Recently, Labour delivered the fastest growing economy in the G7, introduced legislation enabling £8.3 billion of investment in energy security and good green jobs, announced plans for an extra 14,000 new prison places, and £625 million to train 60,000 young engineers, brickies, electricians and carpenters. Promises made, promises kept. Thank you, Sir Keir Starmer. Yours, etc., Geoffrey Brooking, by email. Low esteem, sir. The Scottish Government has approved the Loch Lomond mega resort scheme in spite of massive local opposition, and this does not seem to be a one-off, with many examples of Holyrood approving housing plans after local council rejection. This shows how little the SNP esteems local democracy, and is after many years of cuts to local government. Yours, etc., William Ballantyne, by email. A bit fishy, sir. You couldn't make it up. SNP spokespersons, including Angus Robertson, have swooped on the fisheries aspect of the new UK-EU deal as a stick with which to beat the Starmer government. This is especially important to the SNP with the imminence of tireless campaigning against Labour of its MSPs and foot soldiers of the Hamilton, Larkhall and Stonehouse Holyrood by-election. The irony of it appears to be lost on them. The SNP's policy is for a separate Scotland to join the EU, not that Scotland is qualified to do so. Robertson is one of the most assiduous in demanding this, and yet that would mean Scottish fishing communities being once more subjected to the hated demands of EU's common fishery policy, which are more onerous than the new dispensation. Yours, etc., Jill Stevenson, by email. Get moving. Sir, much has been said about just transition, green jobs by the thousand and more. Politicians are talking up these ideas, but I do wonder about the honesty of some of these pronouncements. Wind farms do create jobs during construction, but once commissioned and built, very few jobs are maintained. Check on the number of full-time equivalent positions and evidence for the Aberdeen offshore wind farm. Onshore, the wind farms create few, if any, local jobs, as the farms are operated by telemetry from miles away. The much vaunted carbon capture is unproven and likely to be frighteningly expensive and power hungry. Why the delay in mining newts? Other countries are going ahead. Denmark and Sweden have committed to go ahead. Are our politicians scared to make decisions? Might I suggest they shut up and get on with the business of sourcing energy and jobs? Yours, etc. M.J. Salter. Address provided. And that was this week's letters page from the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald, date Wednesday the 28th of May.
Screening in a friendly setting. A report by Kevin McRoberts. Kirky Cinema has become well known for providing a special in-house cinema experience on the first Friday of every month in Kirkintilloch Town Hall. These screenings are carefully structured to suit the needs of those in the community living with dementia and their carers. The screenings are in partnership with Alzheimer's Scotland. The hall is lighter, with the volume amended throughout to support everyone attending. Subtitles are turned on for those who are hard of hearing, and there is always friendly staff available throughout the movie for a wee blether. These screenings are in a relaxed and friendly environment, and unlike normal cinema experiences, chatting, wandering, singing and dancing is encouraged. The next showing has been selected to coincide with this year's Dementia Awareness Week, June 2 to 8. On Friday, June 6 at 2 p.m, Kirky Cinema will be screening The Father, 12A. In The Father, Anthony Hopkins plays the eponymous role of a mischievous and highly independent man who, as he ages, refuses all assistance from his daughter Anne, Olivia Colman. Cinema Committee volunteer Morag McNaughton said, "Our dementia-friendly screenings are assisted by Alzheimer's Scotland's Anne O'Donnell, who supports and advises us in coordinating our screenings to ensure they fit the needs of those people in our community living with dementia. These showings are personal to me as my mum lives with dementia. Last summer, she attended a dementia-friendly showing and enjoyed it immensely. This made me wanted to volunteer with the cinema and help with the showings. Making our community more dementia-friendly is an important goal, and the cinema is a step in the right direction. With the help from East Dunbartonshire Voluntary Action's Community Wellbeing Fund, we have been able to enhance those screenings by offering them in the main hall of Kirkintilloch Town Hall, as it promotes a feeling of nostalgia in those who attend. We hope to expand upon these screenings further in the future by offering them throughout the summer instead of our usual 8 months per year programme. Tickets to Kirky Cinema screenings are £5 per adult and £3 per child, with carers going free. Tickets are available online at https://kirky-cinema.ticketlight.co.uk. Booking fees apply, or simply pay at the door. There will be tea and coffee and cakes available at the beginning of the showings on Friday, June 6. The Kirky Cinema's mobile cinema equipment is available for hire by local community groups and schools in East Dunbartonshire. For more information, contact the team at kirkyfilmhub@gmail.com. You can check out Kirky Cinema on TikTok, Facebook and Instagram. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Good day to you today. It's Philip here from Q and Review, reading the church news from the Kirkintilloch Herald. And are you enjoying the weather? Well, last few weeks it's been sunny, and the last couple of days it's been rain, sun, rain, sun. At this moment in time, the sun is shining, so I'll get on with reading the news. From Milton-a-Campsie Church News. It's 60 years since the sound of music hit our screens. A spiritual take on 6 of the songs will guide us through this year's labyrinth, which will occupy the grass adjacent to our church car park. Come and go as you please. We look forward to welcoming folk from near and as far. We walk the songs from Ascension to Pentecost. Christian Aid Week is over. Thanks to all who gave and collected donations. The street collection so far is over £3,000. Wow. Tom and Phil's Throw Us a Fiver is at £500, and the Anderson Singers concert raised over £1,400. Oh, that's brilliant. Hills Alive is the title of our next Go Mad Extra on Sunday, June the 1st at 1 p.m. till 3. Job form registration is now available, and you can check that out from the website of Milton-a-Campsie Church. Planning for Hills Alive and also the Summer Go Mad will continue on Wednesday, May the 28th at 7:45, immediately after Time to Pray. We need newspapers, lots, and also small 45ml jam jars. I don't know what a 45ml jam jar is. Is that a jam pot? Yeah, who knows, but check it out, and if you've got some, I'm sure they could use them. Now to Bishopbriggs St James Church, Hilton Road in Bishopbriggs. The minister there is Paul Watson. There is a communion service on Thursday, May the 29th, 11am, and on Sunday, June the 1st at 9am in the chapel. At 10:30am on Sunday, there is a sung Eucharist in the church. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea and coffee and fellowship afterwards. The Thursday service, the 10:30 Sunday service on Sunday, June the 1st from 3pm to 4pm. Yes, okay, slightly confused there. And then there's the Crafty Kids in the hall. Yes, at that time between 3 and 4. All families are very welcome. Come along and enjoy the activities together. Dates for your diary. Thursday, June the 10th, 1 till 3pm. Tuesday Club, when Paul Watson will be speaking on his recent trip to Canada. No, it's not Canada. I'm getting a bit dyslexic here. It's Chicago. There are other virtual services and groups. Up-to-date information, refer to their social media, Facebook, St James Elias Bishopbriggs, or the website, stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. And some news from Lenzie Old. We will be joining our friends at St David's Memorial Park Church on Sunday, June the 1st at 10:30am. The Quilt and Craft Group meet every Wednesday 10 till 12 noon in the session room. And that's it from Lenzie Old. Not a lot of news this week. And the Kirkintilloch Church of God at Regent Hall, Regent Street. On Sunday, there will be a family-friendly praise event featuring the Kirky Praise Band, video presentations and guest speaker Rose Osborne. Refreshments will be served after the service. A warm welcome to everyone who is able to join us. The Coffee Corner has now closed for the summer and will reopen again in August. Thank you for the many people who regularly joined us for the past months, and also for your generous contributions to the local food bank. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit the website. Yes, pretty simple, regenthall.org. And they have a text for you today. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. A good verse to live by. In Lenzie Union Parish Church, we will be joining friends from all the churches in our cluster for a joint service at St David's Memorial Park Church in Kirkintilloch at 10:30am on Sunday, June the 1st. The Youth Cafe, Thursdays, 3:45 till 5pm, a place where young people can hang out, relax and have a good time after a long day at school. Each week there is a free snack with lots of different things to do, such as games, consoles, table tennis, arts and crafts, board games and more. The coffee pot is open on Fridays 10 till 12 noon in the new hall for teas, coffee and chat. Pentecost experience on Saturday, June 7th from 10am till 4pm. A quiet time to explore the work of the power of the Holy Spirit in the life of Jesus, in the first apostles, and in the church today. And to the aforementioned churches, St David's Memorial Park, please join us this Sunday, June the 1st at 10:30am, when we host a service for our local church cluster group. And they will meet there in the church as mentioned. The service will be led by the SDMP at St David's Memorial Park, worship leader Karen Wallace, and the Reverend Julie Harty, local minister of Lenzie Old Parish Church, on Tuesday, June the 3rd at 7:30pm. Everyone is invited to an evening with New Day Vocal Harmony Group. This is to raise money for the South African Build a House project, and tickets will cost £5. Bishopbriggs, Springfield Cambridge Church, on Sunday, June the 1st, morning worship will be conducted by the Reverend Ian Taylor in the sanctuary at 11am. During this service, the sacrament of the Holy Communion will be celebrated. An offering will be taken during the service. Please place your offering in the plates as they pass around. The Sunday School meets in room 2, where crest facilities are also available. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website. And as usual, that is springfieldcambridge.org.uk and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can be found. There will be a vestry hour on Wednesday, May the 28th from 10am to 11am for anyone wishing to speak to the minister. There will be a short midweek service on Wednesdays, May the 28th from 11:10 to 11:30 in the Springfield Cambridge Chapel, followed by tea, coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. The fundraising group are holding a sparkling afternoon tea on Saturday, June the 7th between 2 and 4pm. Tickets are priced £10 and will be on sale in the Hall of Fellowship on Sunday, this coming Sunday. The Guild is inviting the congregation to join them in supporting the East Dunbartonshire Food Bank Warehouse by bringing donations and leaving them in the cupboard in the cloakroom. And there's also a special notice there of specific items that they require. And now to Torrance. The morning service in person at 10:30am, conducted by the Reverend Stuart Irwin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in Crest, Junior Church and Frog. To join the service online, go to all the W's, torranceparischurch.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday, 9 till 12 noon. For teas, coffees and delicious home baking. Why not come and taste for yourself? The Boys Brigade, they meet on Wednesdays, 7 till 9pm, and that is for P7s to S6. And if you were a bit confused when I first read all this a few years ago, I discovered that P7 stands for Primary 7 and S6 stands for Secondary 6. So there you go, a wee explanation for you if you didn't know that. To find out more about regular activities, check out the website, what's on, and the website is brilliant, I love it. It's tpc.org.uk. Yeah, it saves you typing it all out. So there you have it. That's church news for this week. Not a huge lot going. And thank you for staying with us. And may you have a blessed and fruitful week. And may the sun shine on you. God bless.
Wednesday the 28th of May, District News. Send your emails to kirkysherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNScotland.co.uk. Groups. St Columba's Men's Club. At 7:30pm every Monday, St Columba's Men's Club meet in the Church Hall in Old Elm Road, Kirkintilloch, and offer a very warm welcome, together with the chance to play a bit of pool or snooker, dominoes, or even some table tennis. If none of these appeal, how about a cup of coffee or tea and a chat? Our members come not only from Kirkintilloch, but also from Lenzie, Cumbernauld, Milton of Campsie, and Bearsden. If you would like more details, contact either Ian Gibb on 0141 776 5453 or Jim Kennedy on 07767 124 416. Kirkintilloch Rock Choir. Your friendly local Kirkintilloch choir is run by singing teacher Elaine Williamson. The choir will be performing locally again soon, so it's a chance for you to join in, sing and perform without pressure, and under the supportive guidance of Elaine. We sing in Kirkintilloch every week during term time. You can join the choir by going to www.rockchoir.com. That's www.rockchoir.com. Or you can also book a free singing and Easter session to try it beforehand. English paper piercing. Join us on Saturday, June 28th at the Regent Centre for a captivating demonstration and discover the timeless charm of English paper piercing, EPP. This meticulous hand sewing technique involves wrapping fabric around paper templates and then stitching the fabric pieces together to create intricate and beautiful designs. Book at allevents.in. That's allevents.in. Gala Day, June 14th, Woodhead Park, 1pm to 4pm. Join us for a great afternoon of family fun and entertainment. More information on Facebook, Your Kirky CC. Heart of the Matter by Dr. Frank Dunn. Our medical year has held a number of reunions over the past 55 years, the most recent one being last week. Our golden reunion was delayed by 2 years due to COVID. We decided then that we should have more frequent reunions given our advancing age. To my surprise, over 120 attended our 2-day event at Seamill, and it was an excellent and most enjoyable event. Attendees came from such far-flung places as California, Western Australia, the Cayman Islands, Canada, and Lindsay. Part of the event comprised talks of general interest, including one on rowing across the Atlantic and another on life in the wilds of Canada. I spoke on the power of music, focusing on my experiences with the Glasgow Hospital Broadcasting Service, HBS, and the dementia charity Playlist for Life. HBS started in Glasgow the year I graduated, and to my shame, I never knew anything about it in all the years I worked in the NHS. I traced the history of the station from the days where vinyl records were the order of the day to the current online systems from such services as Spotify. The station, which is run purely by volunteers, nowadays transmits from Baltic Chambers in Glasgow, provides request programmes and a variety of music-related shows, as well as interviews and educational messages. My role solely relates to collecting requests from patients, which are played by one of our DJs, either at the time or later in the day. The patients enjoy hearing their favourite piece of music, which they can dedicate to family, friends, or hospital staff. The feedback from patients and their visitors indicates the powerful effect music has on their mood amidst the stress of being in hospital. One interesting request is "Please Release Me." I also spoke about the charity founded by Sally Matheson, known as Playlist for Life. Sally founded this charity 11 years ago as a result of her observation of the benefits of a chosen playlist of music for her mother who had dementia. The music was chosen from different periods of Mammy Magnuson's life. Sally wrote a moving book called Where Memories Go, and then went on to found the charity. The families are also key in this regard. We first heard of this in attending a lecture by Sally about the charity, and have been involved ever since. A key component within the charity is to have musical detectives who are skilled in helping the patients to construct their own playlists. The families are also of key importance in this regard. Equally important is encouraging the population at large to construct their own playlists in advance of the future possibility of dementia. For the past 7 years, with my wife Helen, we have run a golf day at Lindsay for Playlist for Life and have held 7 such annual events, the most recent one being 2 weeks ago. This year, thanks to the generosity of the 100 participants and other supporters, we raised £32,000. This would not have been possible without the support of Captain Sharon Edgar and all the staff of Lindsay Golf Club. The total raised over the 7 events is now £176,000. Our grateful thanks to all. Scotland. New chair, Scotland's finest woods. Scotland's Finest Woods is pleased to announce Wilma Harper has been selected as its new chair. A chartered forester and chartered environmentalist, Wilma has been a trustee of Scotland's Finest Woods since June 2017 and replaces Guy Watt, who has been a trustee since 2009 and served as chair for 3 years. Wilma has held senior positions across the Forestry Commission and is a former president of both the Institute of Chartered Foresters and the Royal Scottish Forestry Society, a role she will step down from later this year. She has also held non-executive roles with TWIC, the local record centre for South and East and Central Scotland, and the National Biodiversity Network. Scotland's Finest Woods runs a prestigious annual awards ceremony covering a diverse range of land use. This year, the awards ceremony is planned for the Scottish Parliament during National Tree Week in early December, with a deadline for entries of May 31st. Wilma said, "The diversity of Scotland's trees, woodlands and forests is something to behold, and being chair of the Scotland's Finest Woods allows me to champion the great work going on. I am continually impressed by the amazing people who are passionate about all types of woodland and forestry and make them places of innovation and success. There is a lot we do to promote this fantastic work, not least the annual awards. Currently applications are coming in for this year. If you work in a wood that is one of Scotland's finest, you still have time to apply for the 25 awards. It has also been very heartening to see the importance of the awards being increasingly recognised and the financial support that has been provided by the Scottish Government and commercial companies, as well as our supporters. It is very much appreciated. There are 11 competitions at this year's Scotland's Finest Woods Awards covering the new category of urban forestry, as well as quality timber, farm woodland, new native woods, community woodlands and schools in early years, and climate change. Because of this breadth of awards, anyone with a high quality project can enter, whether that be a forestry business, small or large, an expert forester, farmer or crofter, or a community group. Jean Nairn, Executive Director of Scotland's Finest Woods, said, "Wilma has been of great service to many areas of forestry and woodland, and the people who work there, live and play there. Therefore, it is encouraging she can bring her wonderful experience as a new chair." Guy Watt's time as chair has seen Scotland's Finest Woods and the awards thrive and grow. Now, as we celebrate 40 years since the awards began, we look forward to a new chapter with Wilma. Entries must be submitted by 23:59 p.m. on Saturday, May 31st. For full details, see www.sfwa.co.uk. And that was the District News as of Wednesday the 28th of May.
Public Notices. Eastern Bartonshire Council Public Notices. The Eastern Bartonshire Council, A807 Torrance Road, Torrance. Temporary prohibition of right turns. Order 2025. On the 27th of May 2025, the Eastern Bartonshire Council made the above named order under Section 16 (a) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984 as amended, to be observed by vehicles from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. on Saturday the 7th of June 2025 for reasons of public safety and convenience. Prohibition of right turns. 1. From the A807 Torrance Road, Torrance, into the private access to field at Bogton Farm, Torrance. Alternative route. Vehicles travelling on the A807 Torrance Road which cannot turn right into Bogton Field should proceed northwest on the A807 Torrance Road, then proceed in a clockwise direction around Kelvin Bridge roundabout, then turn left into the A807 Torrance Road, then proceed southeastwards on the A807 Torrance Road, then turn left into the private access to Bogton Field. 2. from the private access field at Bogton Farm, Torrance, onto the A807 Torrance Road, Torrance. Alternative route. Vehicles leaving the private access field at Bogton Farm, Torrance, should turn left into the A807 Torrance Road, then proceed south-eastwards on the A807 Torrance Road, then proceed in a clockwise direction around Torrance roundabout, then turn left into the A807 Torrance Road, then proceed northwards on the A807 Torrance Road. Legal and Regulatory Services, East Dunbartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. The East Dunbartonshire Council, A807 Torrance Road, Torrance, temporary no waiting at any time restrictions and 30 mph speed limit. Order 2025. On the 27th of May 2025, the East Dunbartonshire Council made the above named order under Section 16 (a) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984 to be observed by vehicles from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. on Saturday the 7th of June 2025 for reasons of public safety and convenience. No waiting at any time restrictions. The above named order makes it unlawful for any person to cause or permit any motor vehicle to wait at any time on either side of the A807 Torrance Road, Torrance, between its junctions with Torrance Roundabout and Kelvin Bridge Roundabout. 30 mph speed limit. The above named order makes it unlawful for any person to cause or permit to be driven any motor vehicle at a speed exceeding 30 mph on the A807 Torrance Road, Torrance, between its junctions with Torrance Roundabout and Kelvin Bridge Roundabout. Legal and Regulatory Services, East Dunbartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. The East Dunbartonshire Council, the A891 Milton Road, Lennoxtown, temporary 10 mph speed limit, Order 2025. On the 27th of May 2025, the East Dunbartonshire Council made the above named order under Section 14 (1) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984, which makes it unlawful for any person to drive or cause or permit to be driven any vehicle at a speed exceeding 10 mph on the A891 Milton Road, Lennoxtown, between its junction with Chestnut Walk, Lennoxtown, and its junction with Benview Road, Lennoxtown, by reason of works being executed on or near this road. This order will operate from between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. each day from Sunday the 8th of June 2025 until and including Sunday the 15th of June 2025. As part of the works, temporary traffic lights incorporating pedestrian crossing facilities as required will also be used to monitor traffic movements on the A891 Milton Road, Lennoxtown, between its junctions with Chestnut Walk and Benview Road, Lennoxtown. The temporary traffic lights will be manually controlled between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. each day, and the use of temporary traffic signals may result in delays to traffic in the area. East Dunbartonshire Council, East Dunbartonshire Council Headquarters, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. The East Dunbartonshire Council, various roads, Twecker, 20 mph speed limit, Order 2025. On Tuesday the 27th of May 2025, the East Dunbartonshire Council made an order under Section 84 of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984 which order comes into operation on Thursday the 10th of July 2025. The proposed order was advertised in the editions of the Kirkintilloch Herald and the Kilsyth Chronicle, published on the 5th of February 2025. The main effect of the order will be the introduction of a 20 mph speed limit on the entire length or part of the length of those roads in Twecker, listed in Schedule 1 below. A copy of the order and plans detailing the lengths of road affected may be examined without payment of fee on the Road Regulation Orders page of the Eastern Bartonshire Council website, and at the offices of 1. Roads and Environment, Broomhill Industrial Estate, Kilsyth Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TF. Telephone inquiries to 0300 12345 10 between 9 AM and 5 PM, Monday to Friday. 2. William Patrick Library, 2 to 4 West High Street, Kirkintilloch, G66 1AD between 10 AM and 8 PM, Monday to Thursday, and between 10 AM and 5 PM, Friday and Saturday. Any person wishing to question the validity of the order or any provision therein on grounds that the order is not within the powers conferred by the Road Traffic Regulations Act 1984, or on the grounds that any requirement of the Act or of any relevant regulation made thereunder has not been complied with in relation to the order, may, within 6 weeks from the 27th of May 2025, make an application to the Court of Session for this purpose. Eastern Bartonshire Council, Legal and Regulatory Services, Eastern Bartonshire Council Headquarters, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Schedule 1. List of roads within Twecker proposed to be fully or partially subject to 20 mph speed limit. Alexander Avenue, Baird Drive, Barhill Lane, Bevan Court, Colliery Place, Davidson Crescent, Differ Avenue, Drumgrew Quadrant, Gart Shore Crescent, Getter Grove, Glen Shirva Road, Hurrier Drive, Johnston Terrace, Kelvin Terrace, Kelvin View, Kennedy Avenue, MacDonald Crescent, Main Street, Miners Way, Park Avenue, St John's Way, The Green, Turney Hill Road. The proposed Eastern Bartonshire Council, Bishopbriggs Relief Road and Wester Lumloch Road, Bishopbriggs, 40 mph speed limit, Amendment Order 20XX. Eastern Bartonshire Council, in accordance with their powers under Section 84 of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984 and all other enabling powers, propose to consider the amendment of the Eastern Bartonshire Council B812 Auchnairn Road and Bishopbriggs Relief Road, 30 mph and 40 mph speed limits, Order 2003, to amend the length of the Bishopbriggs Relief Road and Wester Lumloch Road, to which a 40 mph speed limit applies. Full details of this proposal, which forms the Eastern Bartonshire Council, Bishopbriggs Relief Road and Wester Lumloch Road, Bishopbriggs, 40 mph speed limit, Amendment Order 20XX, together with plans and statement of reason for proposing to make this order, are available for inspection without payment of fee on the Traffic Regulation Orders page of the Eastern Bartonshire Council website at 1. Bishopbriggs Library and Community Hub, Monday to Thursday, 10 AM to 8 PM, Friday to Saturday, 10 AM to 5 PM. telephone inquiries to 0300 1234 Any person wishing to object to the proposal or make any other representations in relation to the proposal must submit the objection/representation to TRO consultation@eastonbarton.gov.uk or in writing to East Bartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ, no later than Friday the 27th of June 2025. The objection/representation must state the grounds for the objection/representation and must state that it is an objection/representation to the proposed traffic order. All validity made objection representations submitted in time will be considered by the Council prior to the final decision being made on the proposed traffic order. East Bartonshire Council, East Bartonshire Council Headquarters, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Planning applications. Format: application number followed by address/location, followed by proposal, followed by type of advert, followed by period of reps. TP/ED/25/0073 20 Cowgate, Kirkintilloch, East Bartonshire, G66 1HN. Change of use from vacant retail unit, Class 1A, to gymnasium, Class 11. Section 65, affecting CA, 21 days. TP/ED/25/0262. Glen Mill Works, Strathblane Road, Campsie Glen, Lennoxtown, East Bartonshire, G66 7AA. Conversion of existing office/showroom into dwelling house, neighbour notification, 21 days. If you are unable to view the plans on the Council's website, then please contact the Planning Duty Officer to arrange a suitable time to view the plans in our offices. Written comments may be made within the above period to the Council through the Council's website or to the above address. Any representations will be treated as public documents and made available for inspection by interested parties and may also be published on the Council's website.
Kirkintilloch Herald. Sport. Speedway. Sam retains title. Written by Brian Yule. Read by Alan Todd. Sam Hagan was able to successfully defend his title as the British Under-21 Championship took place at Ashfield. The Berwick Bandits rider recovered from failing to score in the opening race to make it into the semi-final, where he finished second to claim the last remaining place in the decider. The final was led by Joe Thompson, twin brother of Glasgow Tigers star Dan Thompson, for 2.5 laps. However, right at the end, Hagan came through on the inside and despite hitting the fence just about managed to win the run to the line before crashing on the first bend. Behind him, Luke Harrison bit the dust after clipping Thompson, while 15-year-old William Cairns was also caught in the carnage. All the riders managed to walk away unharmed, with Thompson second, Harrison third and Cairns fourth. Hagan told British Speedway, "This meant so much more than the first victory, and to be honest, I've struggled ever since winning the first one. For everyone who doubted me, this is what I can do. It's going to be one to celebrate." Unfortunately, while his brother made the podium, it was a day to forget for Dan Thompson, as he scored only 1 point after suffering a broken wrist in a crash on Heat 4. The 21-year-old had gone into the event as favourite following a hot start to his Tigers career. However, the Under-21s event jinx that saw him forced to pull out of last year's British Championship with COVID-19 and then dislocate his shoulder during the Speedway of Nations continued. Tigers teammate Kyle Howarth said, "It's been a really good start for Glasgow, but to lose Dan with a scaphold injury is a bit of a sickener. We have to carry on while he's on the sidelines to keep getting the job done, and hopefully he'll be back as soon as possible." The other Tigers involved were Max Perry, Freddie Hodder and Ashton Bowen, who scored 9, 6 and 4 points respectively, with the former just missing out on the semi-final. Tigers return to action in the Maxicab KO Cup on Friday, but the opponent is still to be announced. Written by Brian Yule, read by Alan Todd. Relay Your Way Across the UK, kicking off in Glasgow. Cerebra's Relay Your Way, a 2,500km mass participation challenge, will make its start at Pinkston Watersports with the first of 300 stages this Tuesday, June the 3rd. A pupil from East Park School will be the first to hold the relay baton aloft and pass it from Cerebra's unique fiberglass boat to a group of paddleboarders and then onto the shore as it begins its journey to Windsor. Day 1 will see the baton travel across Glasgow as 3 schools take part in running and cycle stages, with a stop at Ibrox Stadium for a penalty shootout with Broxy the Bear. Cerebra, the national UK charity dedicated to supporting children who have a neurological condition, created Relay Your Way to promote inclusivity in sports and ensure that no child is left on the sidelines. Over 33 days from Glasgow to Windsor, the baton will journey through towns and cities, bringing together thousands of people in a celebration of accessibility, adventure and inclusion. Approximately 1.5 million children in the UK have a disability, with 1 in 4 regularly missing out on participating in sport, which is why Cerebra created Relay Your Way, so that no child has to ask, "Can I take part?" The Relay Your Way baton, designed by the Cerebra Innovation Centre, will be carried by wheelchair users, adapted surfers and frame runners to the finish line at Parallel, Windsor on July 6th. Stages range from a 200-metre walk to an 80km cycling challenge, with opportunities for everyone of all abilities to take part. For more information, visit the Relay Your Way website. Read by Alan Todd. Trophy is on loan at museum. Written by Brian Yule, read by Alan Todd. Scottish Women's Football has placed on loan the former Scottish Women's Cup trophy to the Scottish Football Museum at Hampden. The trophy was awarded to the winners of the National Cup competition before it was replaced by the SFA's Women's Scottish Cup in 2022. The trophy, made from sterling silver, gold plating and amethysts, was designed by 11-year-old Ella Sharp as part of a nationwide competition in 2018 with then sponsors SSE. Current SWPL 1 champions Hibernian were the first team to lift it, with the trophy being replaced by the SFA's Women's Scottish Cup after Celtic's victory in 2022. Scottish Women's Football chairman Vivian McLaren said, "This trophy is an incredible emblem of women's football history in Scotland, because it was commissioned with the help of our first major sponsor and unveiled in the year we secured our first ever major TV broadcast deal. Hamilton and Inch's silversmiths did an incredible job of bringing this bespoke trophy to life in Ella's design, but after being won by Hibs, then Glasgow City, it lay unclaimed for 2 seasons by the disruptions we faced during the pandemic. However, the fact Celtic won it in 2022 in front of a record crowd for the competition at the time showed how resilient the women's game had become under Scottish women's football. With the increased visibility in the elite game and our grassroots game growing faster than ever, it seems like the perfect moment to put this iconic trophy on display at the Scottish Football Museum." Scottish Football Museum curator Richard McBrearty added, "The Scottish Football Museum is grateful for the loan of this unique trophy. It's a stunning piece with a unique story, representing a time when SWF attracted the first major sponsor in the women's game, which provided the investment and growth that ushered in a new era. Displaying this cup in the museum allows us to mark an important chapter in the growth of the women's game, the pinnacle of the Scottish Women's Cup, before it was replaced by the SFA's Women's Scottish Cup. For more information about visiting the museum, visit the Scottish Football website." Written by Brian Yule, read by Alan Todd. City fail to produce as they lose the cup final. Written by Brian Yule, read by Alan Todd. Glasgow City head coach Leanne Ross admitted we got what we deserved as her side lost 3-0 to Rangers women in the Scottish Cup final. It was City who fashioned the first opportunity at Hampden on Sunday, but Natalia Robles' low drive was saved by Jenna Fife. Gers were then denied by the woodwork twice as Mia Macaulay shot hit the post and a Catherine Hill header bounced off the top of the crossbar. At the other end, Sofia Metea set up Nikola Koslova, however, her strike also came back off the bar. It was Gers who took the lead on 25 minutes when a counter-attack was finished off by Macaulay, firing beyond Lee Gibson. They doubled their lead on 38 minutes when Kirsty Howitt turned her marker to find the back of the net. They saw Gers lead 2-0 at the break, and 6 minutes into the second period, Howitt struck again to add a third. With 20 minutes remaining, City came close to pulling one back when Brenna Lavera squared for Kozlova, but the Ukrainian international missed the target. To add insult to injury, City would finish the game with 10 players with 10 minutes left as Samantha Van Diemen was sent off for a foul on Camille Lafaix. Ross told the club's media team, "First and foremost, I think we got what we deserved in terms of the performance that we put on. It was the one I didn't see coming in terms of the way we have been playing this season and what we've been able to produce. It's disappointing we haven't been able to put a better performance and put up a better fight to try and win a trophy. I know the quality we've got within the squad, I know what we can produce, and we didn't do it. You've got to give credit to Rangers. They've come out, pressed us well, and used the ball well when they've had it. We've made too many individual and collective errors that mean we've lost the game. We'll review the season as a whole. We'll look at what we have been good at because there have been aspects we've improved from seasons gone by. We'll look to build on them again for next season, but there is certainly things we need to address and do better as well." Written by Brian Huell, read by Alan Todd. Rossvale relegated to Championship. Uncredited. Read by Alan Todd. Rossvale women have been relegated from SWPL2 after losing the playoff to Stirling University on Friday. Their brief stay in the second tier came to an end at the Albert Bartlett Stadium in Airdrie with a 1-0 defeat to the Championship runners-up. A crowd of more than 350 turned up on a wet North Lanarkshire night for this one as both sides had chances in the early exchanges. Stirling's Olivia McCarg had one shot blocked and another hit the side netting, while Rossvale's captain, Megan Whiteford, was looking lively. On 29 minutes, Olivia Forsyth sent the ball in from the left, and Tanaka Chitanugu had a number of chances to score from close range for Stirling, but was unable to find a way through to goal. The students continued to have the better of the opportunities, with Caitlin Cook and McCarg having further chances as the first half came to an end. Rossvale started the second half brightly, but were unable to capitalise and were made to pay on 66 minutes. There seemed little danger when Cook picked the ball up, but she fired on a shot from all of 30 yards that gave Stirling the lead. They almost doubled their advantage just moments later, but captain Lucy Jackman headed wide from a corner. Rossvale pushed for an equaliser, and with 5 minutes left, Stirling keeper Regan Ott made an excellent save to deny substitute Lenny Parish. 6 minutes of injury time were added, but Rossvale were unable to find the goal they needed. Read by Alan Todd.
Thanks for listening to this week's Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald podcast, as recorded by volunteers for the charity Cue and Review Print Speaking to the Blind. Remember, you can reach us on 07598 846 694 or email studio@cueandreview.com.